Alright, well, hello everybody, my name is SuperSonic, and as mentioned, I will be here for the next 4 games. There are 5 games, but one of them is actually a bid war between Super Mario Brothers and Animaniacs. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one, and I do plan on playing that last. So, first we're going to kick it off with Sonic 1 All Emeralds Glitchless, then we're going to follow it up with Sonic 3 and Knuckles Glitched, and then Super Mario Brothers, in which I think I have an incentive to play a small Fire Mario for the run. And yeah, we'll just go from there. But anyway, let's go ahead and do a reset on this, and we'll just get things started. Alright, I will go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, first things first, we're in Green Hill Zone. And since we're doing the All Emeralds category, we gotta collect at least 50 rings before the end of the stage, and I do have a ring route planned for this with one backup in case I need it. We're just going to do a couple of loop jumps there to gain a little more speed, and then we're going to take this bottom route here, and then we should get our remaining rings, and then we should be met with a giant ring here. So normally in Sonic speedrunning, mainly for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, we time it with in-game time. But usually for all Emerald runs, we time it with RTA minus TB, which is minus time bonuses. So whenever we see a time bonus like this, the timer would actually pause, but we're not going to be doing that for this run. So we usually pause whenever the time bonus is going down. And now, since we got the 50 rings, we are now joining into the rotating special stages. And just like that, we got our first Emerald out of 6. Now, going into Act 2, this is where we're going to get our second Chaos Emerald, or hopefully we'll get it. So you'll kind of notice that I kind of turn left for a little bit and then go right, because that's sort of like a fast excel. It's very similar to like in Mario 1, where you just tend to move faster while facing left. It doesn't make any sense, but you know. Alright, so we're going to build up a ring count here, should get our remaining rings in this. Go into the big ring, and heading into our second special stage. We barely got 50 rings in that one. I was surprised I got 50 there. So yeah, normally when you get like under 30 seconds, it'll give you like 50,000 points, and then if it's like 30 to 44 seconds, I believe it's like 10,000, and it just kind of goes on from there. Alright, so for our second special stage, we hit the reverse button. And we have these really trolly bumpers as well. Okay, so this is kind of out of my cycle, so we're going to have to improvise a little bit here. So there are like these various buttons on the special stage itself. So there's like these like peppermint candy looking things. Those are called jump stands. So you can pretty much roll on there and then you can jump off of them. And then they have like ones that are showing up and down. Up will actually speed up the rotation process, and then down is going to slow it down. R is to reverse. And then as we saw, the bumpers, those bumpers are just the worst. But anyways, in every Act 3 we fight a boss, so we don't have to worry about grabbing 50 rings here. I'm going to see if we can get this top route. We're going to try to get 4 bounces here if we can. Last one's a little sketchy. I think we got it. Yeah, so we can just pretty much land on Robotnik right off the bat. Get like 7 hits in there. Alright, just like that, we are done with Green Hill altogether. So coming up next, we have Marble Zone. We are going to try to get an Emerald in Act 1. And then our next Emerald isn't going to happen until Spring Yard. So for this section, we're just going to play it normally, especially like in normal glitchless runs. You don't want to bonk into any of these walls or anything like that, otherwise it'll ruin a platform cycle that we're trying to catch, which is this one right here. Now even though we have rings right now, we do have to do a couple of damage boosts in the middle of the stage. Oops. Yeah, we may have to play a little safe here since I have this cycle a little messed up, unless I can catch it. I don't think I'm gonna risk the... Actually, no, we can still get it. Yeah, we still got the cycle. Alright. That was a little sketchy, but we ended up getting it anyway. So we're gonna be losing our rings here, but in this corridor, we have 4 ring boxes. that'll give us 10 rings each. So we're already up to 40 rings after losing like 20 of them. And we should get our remainder rings here towards the end. Get that a little safe here because I don't want to get hit. There we go, perfect. Okay, special stage number 3. I am not going to hold anything on the controller. I'm just going to kind of let Sonic bounce off the bumper a little bit, and it's going to take him right to where we need to be. I'm going to let him roll here, then I'm going to take control of him. This one's probably the most annoying special stage because of how many, like, of these diamonds there are. And it doesn't help when you have, like, bumpers as well. Okay, we're going to see if we can stay within this vicinity here. Oh, that was a good bounce, luckily. Oh! And also when you jump, there's no set jump height for this. So even if you just tap the jump button just slightly, Sonic is just gonna shoot upward, like really high, and there's no way to control it. Alright, so now we're in Marble Act 2. We will not be collecting a special stage here, so we're just gonna play this out normally. And usually in Marble Zone, I like to call it Damage Boost City, because there's a lot of damage boosts that we gotta do in these stages. But I missed the jump here, so we gotta improvise a little bit for this part. Alright, luckily we got good platform cycles there, so we don't have to worry about taking a damage boost into the lava. Just moseying on over here, we're gonna catch this platform cycle. There we go. Now we're going to break a series of blocks here. And since I broke an extra block, I'm going to wait for like about half a second and then just kind of jump right through the lava shower, even though it looked like it clearly hit me, but the hitboxes are very deceptive for those. And then we're pretty much done with Marble 2. Now Marble 3, there's going to be a little bit of an auto-scroller. It's about roughly, I want to say, 15-20 seconds or so. May not be too long, but a bit of a breather, even though you're kind of just surfing on lava for a little bit. First things first, we're just going to try to do like short hops there to kind of avoid doing the damage boost. That's okay. Doesn't really cost too much time. Alright, well since we have a little bit of an auto-scroller, if you have anything to plug, feel free to do that.
We do not have any new donations, but I will plug the bid war we're having between Animaniacs and Super Mario Brothers, and the donation incentive for the SMB1, where if it is met, then we will do, for SuperSonic, we'll do Small Fire Mario.
Definitely get those donations in. Really good cause as well. We are about to approach the boss fight here. The third hit in the air like that, and then try to get the remaining of the hits. Barely got it. And thankfully we had rings, otherwise we would have been dead if we fell in the lava. We'll take this one. Alright, coming up next, we have Springyard Zone, and we're going to collect our next 2 emeralds in both Acts 1 and 2. And these stages can be a little finicky, so I'm going to try to go for a safety strat and grab the invincibility in the middle of the stage. Just to kind of ensure that we keep the 50 rings. That might have been an early jump. Yep, that was an early jump. I'm going to take a death here. Didn't want to fall down here because that would be a big time loss. But I jumped a little bit early on the ceiling there, which kind of made me miss the platform cycle that I needed. But we're going to grab this safety extra life as well. So not all is lost really. Just that early again. Oh, that was better. Let me take a bit of a detour to grab those rings. Alright, we're going to grab this invincibility down here. There we Just ran out of speed shoes, but that's okay. Got all the rings that we need. We just need to grab the ring box from the bottom. A little bit unfortunate with Spring Yard. It's usually a pretty trolly level, even though it's like very simple and linear. You don't want to miss that big ring, because you have like a little bit of leeway after touching the signpost, but then Sonic will just kind of walk off and then you'll be able to miss the ring, so we don't want that to happen. But at least we got into our special stage, so we're in the clear for that. So this is special stage number 4. This one's a bit tricky. I'm gonna try to navigate through these corridors here, and you don't want to touch the goals either, because that'll pretty much end the stage right away, and we don't want that to happen. Try to jump off of here. And you kind of heard the continues jingle. You actually can earn continues in special stages. Ultimately, we don't want to get that because that is a bit of a time loss as well. But, I mean, the more the merrier. It's fine. I mean, we'll take the continue. Because there's actually no other way to get continues otherwise, so... And especially with lives being really scarce in this game. Alright, so now in Spring Yard 2, we're going to jump into the spring so we don't get sub-pixeled on that bumper. And then we're just going to try to grab our rings here. There's going to be a lot of rings towards the end of the stage, so that's pretty much our best spot to get like at least 50. Okay, we're gonna watch out for these spike balls. Alright, now we got Randy and Orton, and unfortunately they hit me, so I gotta see if I have enough rings here. Otherwise I may have to take a backup. You know, I should have enough. Oh yeah, we're good. We're actually really good on rings here. Okay, at least we have those extra rings available, since we got hit by Randy. And we're gonna head into special stage number 5. Alright. So for special stage number 6, oh dear, don't hit the goal. No, okay, we're not going in the goal. That was really close. And yeah, a lot of people do not like these rotating special stages, and I don't blame them. Because I would say, like, the Sonic 3 and Knuckles special stages, which are the Blue Sphere stages, they're more favorable than these. Even more favorable than the half-pipe stages in Sonic 2. But yeah, these rotating special stages can be quite the nightmare if things go awry, so... But luckily, we're able to grab our 5th emerald with no issue, even though we were really close to grabbing the gold. Okay, so for our last emerald, we're not going to grab it until Starlight 1, so we're going to be playing through Spring Yard 3 and all of Labyrinth normally. The first things we're going to do in Spring Yard 3, we're going to go to the left, then to the right, so this will allow us to avoid the spike balls. Because we didn't do that, and even though we hit the 10 ring box, it's not going to go into effect until a second later it's hit, so... And chances are you'll pretty much crash into the spike ball and die. Alright, so now we're going to take this top path of Spring Yard 3. Let's see if we can get into the corridor. Alright, that was good. So we call that the swoosh strat. We just kind of swoosh our way into the corridor. Saves about a couple seconds in game time. Now we're going to fight everyone. Yeah, go ahead.
Could take a second to mention the bid war. We do have a bid war incentive for SuperSonic to play Animaniacs or the Lost Levels. That is up to you, so get your bids in now for that.
Indeed we do. Alrighty, so now we're heading into Labyrinth Zone, which is a set of water levels. So I will say this now, if you guys are a little terrified of the drowning music, we will be hearing that a couple times, and just a fair warning if it gives you anxiety or anything like that. We won't be hearing it here, luckily, but There's actually a much faster route compared to going into the full water route, which is a lot slower. It's like about an I would say a minute and a half or so slower than this route here. For whatever reason, this tiny platform appears out of nowhere once you hit that switch. We can take this top route, and it just pretty much cuts the entire level all the way. Hey, we're just gonna do a little bit of a platforming here, and then we should be at the end of the stage. Not too bad. Alright, so for Labyrinth Act 2, towards the end of the level, that's where we're going to hear the drowning music. But it gets even worse in Act 3. Alrighty, so for Act 2, we're going to go ahead and not bonk into anything, so we should catch this cycle here on these spinning ball and chains. If you're just any slower, it can actually catch you. So now we get the hidden switch to open the door. Now we're going to try to carry this invincibility towards the end of the stage. There are these Orbinauts, which is this enemy I'm about to hit right here. There's going to be 2 more, and on the last one, I should be able to still have invincibility as it's running out. Do a little bit of forward hops there. There we go. Okay, so that may have not been too bad listening to the drowning music. It's only just a smidge, just a tiny bit. And now we're gonna attempt a strat called Bubbleless, which is probably one of the most dangerous strats in the run, but it's really cool at the same time. I will try to attempt it once. If I end up messing up somewhere, we will bail from the Bubbleless strat. Let's see if we can do this here. We have the setup for it. I'm gonna try to focus a little bit on this section here. Did I scare anybody? That was no problem, right? Made it just fine out of the water. Alrighty, now we got the climb here. And we're going to be facing off against Robotnik. We're going to try to skip him if we can. No, we're not going to skip him. Thankfully, we have the rings. It is actually possible to skip the boss fight, so you can be above Robotnik here, and then just finish the stage a little sooner. But if we somehow end up underneath him, he's just really slow when he's moving upward. So we're just going to end up dying, because messed up my jump. And I didn't grab the checkpoint, so we gotta do all of that over again, unfortunately. But that's the reason why you want to have rings there, is because those spears are on a cycle, as well as the fireballs. And if any of them get thrown off just slightly, then it can just throw off your rhythm for a little bit. Okay, let's try Bubbleless again, in case we missed it the first time. And I will grab the checkpoint if I make it up here. Oh, no way! It looked like I clearly got out of the water, but the game was like, nope. It was just a frame off. Okay, alright, we're not gonna go for Bubbleless anymore. At least we saw it twice, and one of them we just got robbed, but that's okay. So we'll just play it normally. No big deal. Labyrinth 3 is just not cooperating with us today. So what you would normally do besides that Bubbleless strat is you'll just kind of traverse through here. And then there is actually a bubble dude that'll provide big bubbles for you to gain air back. Now that we got our drowning meter counting down, We just gotta wait for this guy. This guy can be a little trolly sometimes. Dude, give me the bubble. Thank you. Alright. No problem. We're all fine. We don't have to hear any more of the drowning music, hopefully, now that we grab the checkpoint. And we do have 2 lives left, however, we do have a continue, so should be okay. It's a little bit of a mishap, you know, lab 3 being lab 3. It even happens during, like, PB attempts and such. I guess also on the safe side, we'll take this safety shield as well. That is available to us. And thankfully we got that, and thankfully we had rings too. The lab is just trying to throw everything at me, because they know it's a marathon run, so they're going to try to do everything in their power to mess me up. Okay, now we're in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, goodness gracious. Lab 3 is just not having it today. Alright. We have our last life. We do have a continue in our disposal in case we need it, but I don't think I've ever game overed in a run before for this game, so. Alright. Let's take it nice and safe here. Enough trolling from the game. We want to get the Starlight, and we want to get our last special stage, and our last Emerald. But there we go. Finally, we're out of there. Jeez. Okay, so now it's the calm before the storm. We got Starlight. And usually Acts 1 and 2 are pretty chill, so we get to hear some nice music. First things we're going to do is break this wall, and we're going to grab 2 of these ring boxes. And we should be able to be good on our ring route here. Okay, and take this path. Usually when you take the top route, that's usually like considered the faster route in Sonic games. At least for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Sonic 3 is a little different, because the zones are pretty huge in that game. Alrighty, so now we're heading into our final special stage, and this game only has 6 emeralds instead of 7, because they didn't introduce 7 emeralds until Sonic 2. Now for our last emerald, we're just gonna hang out around here. No, don't spin on me. Don't do that either. Don't put me into the goal. The game is just trying everything it can to mess me up. We're not gonna let it. We're gonna keep our composure. We're gonna stay within the area of the emerald, and we're gonna grab it. There we go. So we got all 6 Chaos Emeralds. And now onward to Act 2 of Starlight. Now we're gonna take this top route here. Got frame perfect jump to land on that platform. It's pretty tough to do most of the time. I'm glad I'm able to get that. And then we're gonna take this top path here. You can actually roll past that platform. And you can also do pause buffering to make sure that you don't run into it, so you can kind of like pause and just kind of maneuver your way through to see like if you end up missing the strat or not. Alright, so Starlight Act 3. This is probably the most annoying stage in the game. Both like the boss fight itself and the stage. Oh, we tried to go for a double frame perfect jump to land on that seesaw, but unfortunately we missed it. But that's okay. We're gonna mosey on over here. We should be on a good cycle to get the invincibility. No, I think we're a little bit off. I'm gonna wait a little bit and then just kind of roll. Didn't quite work. we want to get up here, which I barely missed. I'm going to run out of invincibility by the time we get to the boss, but that's okay. So normally what you want to do is you want to take the invincibility to the boss fight. And you can get like a bunch of hits right away, but since we didn't quite grab the invincibility as intended, we're just going to play the boss normally here. And this boss is really annoying to deal with. But once one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong in this fight. So normally what you want to do is like on the tip of these seesaws, you want to try to do the piano roll technique for the jumps. And you'll kind of notice that Sonic jumps slightly higher than usual. Because I'm pretty much pushing the A, B, and C buttons kind of like a piano roll technique. And it pretty much gives Sonic a better chance to jump on the frame he lands. So he'll be able to get more jump height. But yeah, that's a very annoying boss fight. At least we're out of Starlight. Now we're heading into Scrap Brain, which is our final zone of the game. And for this first stage, we're going to be catching a cycle. Jump on these ice cream sandwiches, as I like to call these. Should meet this platform here in 15 on the IGT. Then we're gonna just jump straight down. Get hit, that's fine, no problem. Because there aren't any special stages that we need to do anymore, so... If we get hit, that's fine. I'll just go through here. Jump right away on those red platforms because they disappear really fast. And... oh, at least we didn't die. Now we're at the end of the stage. 0 rings, no problem. Made it just fine. Alright, now... Scrap Brain 2, we're pretty much like in Robotnik's territory. We're gonna see if we can catch another cycle here. If not, then that's okay. It's like we don't necessarily have to like worry about the cycles if we miss it, but it's nice to catch them. Alright, so we got the first cycle. And the second cycle is gonna be avoiding buzzsaws. But if you end up getting hit, that's fine too, as long as you just have a ring, and then you're just good to go through. Alright, there's these buzzsaws, we've made it through just fine, and now we're going to see a swinging ball and chain moving left and right. Now it's going to be moving left, and it should be moving right, and it should be moving left again, so we're going to jump. And I believe those are all on a global cycle, so I'm able to tell like which way they'll go. Alright, so now we're going to have a little bit of a cutscene here. We're going to see Robotnik show up. He's going to stand on the left side here, and we're going to head into Labyrinth 4, aka Scrap Brain 3. Now this level is very long, but if you go this path here, you can finish it within 22 seconds or less. So you don't want to go down there, you're just going to keep this path over here. I'm going to be holding the jump button so I can get a bounce off that burrow bot. Now we're done with the levels. Now we're heading into our final fight. So there's 2 ways to do this fight. One is what I'm doing currently, which is the positive strat. You see these pistons. The top ones are numbered 1 and 3, the bottom ones are numbered 2 and 4. There is an order in which we know where Robotnik is going to appear. And every time we hit him, we let go of all inputs on the controller, and he will arrive in those pistons every single time. So the order we're looking for is 4, 3, 2, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. So that is 4 right there. Now we're going to get number 2. And he's going to appear on number 1, which is the top left. And if you end up having any kind of input or missing a hit, then the RNG is all messed up and there's no way of telling where he's going to be. This is like one way of doing the RNG manipulation. We should have one more hit to go. Alright, there's that. And then time's coming up on fade out here, and we're just going to have a little bit of fun and to throw Robotnik all together. That's time. As we see here, we got all the Chaos Emeralds. Like a much shorter ending sequence, and it just kind of flashes and disappears. And at the end of the credits, it just shows Robotnik just kind of bouncing up and down on the word's end, just throwing a tantrum. So yeah, that is Sonic 1 All Emeralds Glitchless. Unfortunately, Labyrinth 3 wasn't too kind to us, but we managed to get all the Chaos Emeralds and beat the game in just roughly 29 minutes. So coming up next, we got Sonic 3 and Knuckles Glitched. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get set for the next game.